evening and welcome to this edition of the Evening News for today, Thursday, May 16, 2023. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. In the headlines this evening, Guyana to ramp up examination of TNT imports following rejection of packaged milk. GTU is not serious about conciliation, using teachers to push agenda, says AG. 117 million owed to GPF as outstanding payments for traffic tickets. Guyanese among 2 killed in head-on collision in upstate New York. Taxi driver busted with 22 kilograms ganja gets 4 years, fined 19.8 million, and Vandenburg elected new TOSHAO of OREALLA-SIPARUTA. Now for the news in detail. The Guyana government will be ramping up the examination of goods being imported into Guyana from CARICOM member states, starting with Trinidad and Tobago, following that country's refusal of $20 million shipment of milk produced by a local company in Guyana. Trishelle Sobers has this report.
Earlier in the week, Demerara Distillers Limited DDL disclosed that Trinidad and Tobago blocked the exports of 4 20-feet shipping containers of packed milk and bottled water. It was reported the DDL shipped the items to Trinidad after a well-established exporting company assured that it satisfied all the requirements. The company was later informed that the blocking of the milk was based on Trinidad's Animal Disease and Importation Act 2020. During his weekly press conference on Thursday, Vice President Dr. Bart Jagdeo disclosed that Guyana has been at the forefront of the fight for the reduction of trade barriers in the region, since the country believes it is essential to promote wealth and the growth of trade across CARICOM. However, he explained that government will start to reciprocate the same actions being taken by CARICOM countries as it relates to the exports of goods and services, starting with Trinidad and Tobago.
We have had issues with Trinidad and Tobago before. So let me say, going forward, that we will insist upon full reciprocity in matters of trade. That the way our goods and our exports are treated across the region, but in this particular case in Trinidad and Tobago, the same way their goods entering into Guyanese market would be treated.
The Vice President explained that Guyana has always had a long-standing stable position on the importance of phytosanitary restrictions. However, they must not be used to displace tariffs or, in this case, stymie the flow of goods and services across the region.
If they can insist on phytosanitary tests that we don't implement for their goods, but they want to conduct on our goods before they enter into their market, then we will have to deal in the same manner as they're doing with our goods.
He noted that Trinidad and Guyana share a long-standing trade relationship, and therefore the government is not looking for a fight, but for fair treatment of its commodities.
All we want is that our exports, our goods, be treated fairly in their market as their goods are treated here.
He reiterated that the Twin Island Republic will face similar restrictions extended to commodities exported from Guyana to that country. Trishelle Sobers, Evening News.
We are now joined by Bisham Mohammed, who reports that in light of the recent ultimatum issued by the Guyana Teachers Union concerning the 20% across-the-board increase for teachers, Attorney General Anil Nandlal believes that while the government is making every effort to end the impasse, the union continues to stall the process.
The Attorney General, during a recent interview, stated that the Ministry of Education scrupulously and studiously complied with the provisions of the ruling of the court and the Labour Act to resolve the impasse. As such, conciliation talks between the two parties have commenced under the watchful eyes of the Ministry of Labour. After 2 days of talks, the union demanded that an interim 20% increase be paid to teachers before any conciliation regarding the time frame for the payment period for salary increases continues. On this note, Nandlal stated that even before an outcome of the previous impasse, another has surfaced.
You have to agree first to resolve the impasse and negotiate around that particular impasse. What is the deadlock? 2019 to 2023 or 2024 onwards? Right. Rather than negotiate a breaking of that deadlock, the GTU has now put on the table as condition precedent a series of demands which they are saying that unless these demands are met, then we can't start the conciliation.
The Attorney General added that conciliation by law can only proceed upon the resumption of work, while adding that conciliation cannot subsist during a strike.
So in order for the conciliation to even start, you have to go back to work. But the union has now imposed upon the conciliation a regime of demands which they are saying must be addressed before the conciliation even begins. Right. Now that is in bad faith. That is contrary to the principles of conciliation and may very well be unlawful.
Further, the Attorney General stated that with a new regime of demands, he is confident that the Guyana Teachers Union is not serious about conciliation, and added that the teachers are being used for the union's own agenda.
This union has illustrated, even to those who are in support of it, that they are not serious about conciliation. They are not serious about resolving any impasse. This industrial action is not a bona fide one. It is influenced by other considerations. This 20% demand for increase in salary, in my view, demonstrates that the teachers are simply being used as a tool for the prosecution of some other objective.
Weighing in on the union's request to recuse Labour Minister Joseph Hamilton from the conciliation talks, the AG had this to say.
The Minister of Labour is appointed by the Parliament to perform those functions. It is the Labour Act, the laws of Guyana, which say who is to perform the functions that Joseph Hamilton is currently performing.
On Wednesday, Education Minister Priya Manikchand stated that the request by the union was unreasonable and made it clear that the government would not sign off on its request and would also not negotiate under duress. She contended that the GTU was setting a very bad precedent not only for Guyana government but for governments across the region. Misha Mohammed, The Evening News.
Drivers in Guyana face a staggering bill of $117 million owed to the Guyana Police Force following the multitude of tickets issued for driving offenses across the country. Michael Henry has the details in this report.
This was revealed by Traffic Chief Superintendent Mahendra Singh during a televised program on Wednesday.
For this year only so far, traffic enforcement and paid tickets so far in courts of law, those tickets have amounted to more than $57 million in cash going towards the government's financial system from tickets paid. Outstanding tickets amount to more than $117 million. And this is based on stats. This is based on what is physically verifiable. Now, what do? Do we just take the unpaid tickets as a form of some action taken and leave it as it is. No, our ranks continuously follow up for one, court dates for matters that are pending, two, if summonses were prepared and that they are served, if warrants were issued for the arrest of a particular perpetrator or person who did not honor the tickets at court.
According to Singh, the police force's issuance of tickets is solely driven by their commitment to upholding the law. Additionally, he disclosed that drunk drivers have contributed a substantial $18 million to the government's coffers through fines paid for their violations.
The law is the law. It is what it is and not what we want it to be. It is there to be enforced, and that is what we do precisely. For this year so far, I want to tell the public that as a result of alcohol consumption, and which is above the legally prescribed limit, more than $18 million has been contributed to the government financial system by drunk drivers who have been successfully prosecuted. To be exact, 237 of them out of a total of 510 in a court of law, with fines ranging from as low as 30,000 to 200,000. We cannot get this done without the support of that base of experienced people, like-minded people, law-abiding citizens, both of the mature type and young ones who wish to be better. So the learning curve continues now to project in a way that would only help to improve our service delivery and naturally the behavior of the general public.
Only recently, Singh reprimanded drivers for their recklessness on the roadway. He referred to the fatal smash-up at Long Creek Linden Soosdyke Highway, which claimed the lives of 6 persons. He noted that accidents across Guyana could be avoided only if drivers use the roads more responsibly. Michael Henry, The Evening News.
Let's now tell you that 53-year-old UC Wilson, a taxi driver who was intercepted with 22 kilograms of cannabis in his motorcar along High Street, Georgetown, on April 21, 2024, has been sentenced to 4 years imprisonment and fined $19.8 million for the offense. Wilson appeared before Acting Chief Magistrate Sherdal Isaacs Marcus in the Georgetown Magistrates Court and pleaded guilty to the charge. The Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit, CANU, reported that on the day in question, the ranks conducted an operation along High Street and intercepted a motorcar that was at the time being driven by Wilson of Edinburgh, East Bank, Berbice. The officers, upon observing Wilson acting suspiciously, searched the car and unearthed several bulky parcels containing cannabis. Thus, Wilson, the car, and the cannabis were taken to CANU headquarters, where the ganja was weighed and amounted to 22 kilograms. We're joined once again by TOSHAO Sobers, who reports that through the Central Housing and Planning Authority, the Housing Ministry will soon engage squatters at the Fitzhope squatting area in Linden, Region 10, where illegal structures are hindering the progress of major infrastructural works. The issue reportedly affects more than 400 families who have been allocated lots in the area.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Central Housing and Planning Authority, Sherwin Greaves, and a team visited Phase 4, Fitzhope, Linden, Region 10, Upper Demerara, Berbice, on a fact-finding mission in response to complaints from contractors that infrastructure works are halted as a result of a cluster of squatters. According to CHPA, more than 400 families have been allocated residential lots in the area, while 160 have been regularized. However, the allottees cannot access their lands until some 8 illegal structures are removed. These structures, according to the ministry, continue to stand in the way of a key road network to develop the area. According to Greaves, the Housing Ministry will be reaching out to the squatters to bring speedy resolution to the issue. He explained that the ministry will be exploring all its options to engage these persons to relocate them so that the development works can proceed, and assured that the agency will work with the owners of the structures to chart a course forward. In the meantime, an assessment will determine if the contractors can work around the structures or if relocation is the only alternative. The CEO also used the opportunity to remind Lindeners that the Housing Ministry is working in their best interests, and with the demand for housing growing, efforts are being made to make land available. According to reports, the agency is committed to fulfilling its mandate and is well on the way to meeting the target of 50,000 lots. TOSHAO Sobers, Evening News.
Coming up on the other side of the break, Guyanese among 2 killed in head-on collision in upstate New York, and 99% of Guyanese teachers trained or are in training, says MOE. Please stay tuned.
What flavors does Oreo have around the world?
Oreo peanut butter.
Let me see. Oreo cajeta.
Here comes Oreo around the world, the promo that takes you on a family trip to taste the Oreo flavors available in Paris, New York, Mexico, or Rome. Register your packages at oreopromo.com.
2 day and night facilities will be constructed in regions 2 and 4 to provide a safe space for the children of working parents. Monies will also be spent to rehabilitate and improve the facilities at the Sophia Care Center and Mahaika Children's Home. This $287 million investment is part of the 2024 national budget, which is supported by revenues earned from oil production.
Moving, lifting, or bending, whatever the job, we at Sylvie's Variety Store have the right tools to make it happen. Pallet jacks and hand trucks for bonds and industrial sites, easy pickup and convenient maneuvers. Chain hoist from Roughneck and Northern Industrial, the perfect solution to lifting heavy objects. And then there's the 12-ton and 16-ton hydraulic pipe benders from 1/2 to 2 inch. We also stock the shop press machine from Northern Industrial. Sylvie's Variety Store stocks the tools to make it happen.
What flavors does Oreo have around the world?
Oreo peanut butter.
Let me see. Oreo cajeta.
Here comes Oreo around the world, the promo that takes you on a family trip to taste the Oreo flavors available in Paris, New York, Mexico, or Rome. Register your packages at oreopromo.com.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. A Guyanese woman is among 2 killed in a head-on crash in White Creek, upstate New York. The dead are 39-year-old Shamika Bergen Mentor, formerly of Tamari, East Bank, Demerara, and Tricia A. Digonalt, 29, of Hoosick Falls, New York. Based on Channel 13 News, the accident occurred at about 6 hours 15 on Route 22, just south of Grandma Moses Road. At the time, both Mentor and Digonalt were driving their respective vehicles. The 2 women were pronounced dead at the scene. However, relatives of Mentor are still in a state of shock following the dreadful news. One relative stated that they received the news shortly after the accident, but they are still unclear as to what had transpired. Mentor, Evening News understands, worked as a delivery personnel for Amazon and was on her way to deliver packages when the accident occurred. She left Guyana several years ago. The Education Ministry has reported that 99% of teachers are fully trained or are in training. This, the ministry stated, has significantly increased over the past 3 years. More details in this Toshao Sobers report.
According to statistics provided by the Education Ministry, a total of 10,000 teachers were in the public education system when government assumed office in August 2020, and this number has grown to 14,000 teachers with a total of 2,000 in training. Additionally, it was revealed that over 188 teachers from the hinterland graduated from the Cyril Potter College of Education CPCE in 2023, which represents a 488% increase when compared to the 32 teachers from the hinterland who graduated from CPCE in 2019. Overall, some 1,796 teachers on the hinterland and coastline graduated from CPC in 2023. Education Minister Priya Manikchand on Tuesday stated that with the massive expansion of the Cyril Potter College of Education, Guyana has been able to achieve an average of 99% trained teachers.
30% of our teachers right now, the increased number of teachers, 30% are training further for degrees and masters and PhDs, which means they're going to get a higher pay, and they're training for free or at no expense to themselves. It's not free. The government is paying for it. That can't be discounted as nothing.
Manikchand noted that getting to 100% trained teachers may take some time, since there are a few instances where it would not be practical to ask older teachers in the system to get formal training now. Instead, she said, those teachers are being supported otherwise. The minister added that with this deliberate policy decision, coupled with improved access to training opportunities, the Guyana government has been able to ensure that students have access to a higher quality of education.
Now, what happens when you're trained as a teacher? When you're trained as a teacher, you get a better salary, you have better chances at promotion and leadership in your school, you have more opportunities to go on to do further tertiary training, like on the GOLD program. We believe expanding the teacher training college was a game and will be shown to be a game changer in the education system. And so we're very, very proud of this particular achievement.
Trishelle Sobers, Evening News.
More Guyanese will soon be professionally trained in hospitality and tourism management as the Confederation of Tourism and Hospitality partners with Action Invest Caribbean Inc. to launch an extensive training program. Here are the details in this report.
The Confederation of Tourism and Hospitality, CTH, in collaboration with Action Invest Caribbean Incorporated, on Wednesday, rolled out their new hospitality and tourism management training program for Guyanese. The program was developed to professionally train more workers for the rapidly growing tourism and hospitality sector in Guyana. Delivering remarks at a ceremony hosted by the British High Commission, General Manager of the Guyana Marriott Hotel, Eduardo Ripilli, recognized the shortage of local skilled and qualified staff in the tourism and hospitality sector.
I think the biggest challenge that Guyana is facing, apart from the entire transformation and the speed that things are taking place, is labor source. We don't have labor, because we continue with the same old habits. There's a huge migration for Canada, US, UK, because the population, the Guyanese population, is still looking for better opportunities.
On the other hand, British High Commissioner to Guyana, Jane Miller, expressed her excitement about the collaboration.
This country does have some globally recognized tourism. And alongside that, it needs globally recognised tourism hospitality training. And I'm really delighted by the collaboration that we're now seeing between CTH and Guyana. We recognise tourism has huge potential in this country. And that potential is going to be realised by stronger human capital. And so this course, these training, this opportunity, this collaboration between CTH and Guyana, I see as being a real magic formula for the real development of this really exciting sector.
Meanwhile, 4 local companies were recognized as CTH Gold Employer Partners in Guyana. These are the Grand Coastal Inn, the Guyana Marriott Hotel, the Ramada Princess Hotel, and Evergreen Adventures. Already, Action Invest has been training about 100 students locally in hospitality, tourism management. The training is also done through the government's Guyana Online Academy of Learning Gold Scholarship Program. For the Evening News, Kelroy Williams.
Lawrence Vandenburg was on Wednesday elected the new TOSHAO of OREALLA-SIPARUTA. The results of Wednesday's elections were made known after midnight and showed Vandenburg securing 206 of the votes cast. In this Andrew Carmichael report, you will also hear that the residents of Maracaibo have re-elected its present TOSHAO for another term.
26-year-old Lawrence Vandenburg was announced as the new TOSHAO for OREALLA-SIPARUTA.
Right, I feel honored to be elected as the new TOSHAO of OREALLA-SIPARUTA village, being one of the youngest TOSHAO of OREALLA. It's a great privilege, and so I will put my best foot forward in doing all I can for my people.
Vandenburg, a primary school teacher secured 206 votes ahead of the three other candidates. Former TOSHAO Louis DeVere secured 111 votes. DeVere had been accused by residents of not managing the affairs of the community transparently. Residents also claimed that the community was not benefiting from its resources as it should. Both OREALLA and SIPARUTA produce sand and timber. Currently, with the construction boom taking place in the country, some residents believe that the royalties paid to the community are not a true representation of the resources extracted from those communities. First-time voter Elvin Dick said the community has not shown signs of improvement over the past decade. He says he hoped the new leaders would place more emphasis on sport and create jobs in the area. Another voter, Stuart Penny, pointed out the importance of the elections while relating that there is a need for good governance in those two communities. He said there is no accountability and things are not done transparently.
For years, we have tried, a lot of folks, we have tried pastors, we have tried elders, we have tried people with good sense, but they haven't been able to rectify this or correct this or give a proper diagnosis to this area of governance. Lawrence is a well-rounded individual. He is a capable individual, spiritual, well-groomed, and he is a person that I think can take this community from this situation to a better situation.
However, Vandenburg, during his campaign, promised to address issues facing the communities.
I said in my campaign that I will be looking into the water system, the light, and the sun. Accountability has been a big problem for us over the years, and so I promised in my campaign that we will prepare our financial report at the end of each month, and we will present those reports at the general meeting, which will be held every quarter.
Meanwhile, Muraikabai, located 96 miles up the Maikoni River in Region 5, also held elections for TOSHAO on Wednesday. Derek John was re-elected to serve another term in office. John, who is also the chairman of the National TOSHAO's Council, secured 135 votes ahead of Colin Adrian with 127 and Remington Adrian with 57. 12 persons were also elected to serve on the Muraikabai Village Council. Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
Public Works Minister Juan Edgel on Wednesday met residents of Silver Hill along the Linden-Soosdijk Highway to address the deteriorating condition of the main access road, among other issues. Here are the details.
The meeting was aimed at reducing tensions between truck operators who traverse the main access road to the loom pit and residents. Residents complained that the condition of the main access road has severely deteriorated due to the movement of trucks traversing in and out of nearby loam pits. It was noted that attempts were made to designate separate lanes for residents and truckers. However, the agreement fell through as truckers persisted in using both lanes. In this regard, a meeting was held with both operators of these pits, during which they have agreed to rehabilitate the main access road.
I have gotten the operators of the loom pit to agree to do some immediate and remedial work and maintenance on the road from the highway to the entrance to the scheme.
Similarly, residents complained about the discomfort caused by the noise of trucks late at night. The minister noted that with the current infrastructural development in the country, the traffic will only increase. As such, he noted that engineers from the Ministry of Public Works are currently looking to establish an alternative route for trucks to get access to the loom pits.
My engineers were supposed to walk or drive and look about the establishment of an alternative route so they don't have to pass through the housing area. I think there is a suggestion of an entrance that could possibly come out somewhere between the Nari gate, somewhere by the Nari compound. We will have to check with lands and surveyors to see who are the owners of that land so we'll be able to arrange an alternative route, because with the kind of a development that is taking place in Guyana and the demand for loom, the traffic in here will not get less.
Moreover, he outlined additional measures to be implemented in response to concerns of noise pollution. These include the imposition of a 15-mile-per-hour speed limit and the enforcement of locked tailgates on trucks. Meanwhile, the minister highlighted that failure by the loam pit operators to fulfill their commitments will result in actions including suspension of operations by the Ministry of Natural Resources and the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission. For the evening news, Kelroy Williams.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic on Friday, May 17, 2024 at 1 hour. For 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is expected to be closed at 11 hours 50 on Friday, May 17, 2024, also for 1.5 hours.
Stena Drilling throws support behind ExxonMobil's U14 tournament. This and more coming up in the Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp.
What flavors does Oreo have around the world?
Oreo peanut butter.
Let me see. Oreo cajeta.
Here comes Oreo around the world, the promo that takes you on a family trip to taste the Oreo flavors available in Paris, New York, Mexico, or Rome. Register your packages at oreopromo.com.
Dad! Dad!
Is that real?
Well hit. Away it goes. That is a ridiculous. Look at this.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Did you know that when you leave your property unoccupied and unmanaged, it deteriorates much faster than you can imagine? Then before you know it, much of your hard-earned investment is wasted. At Hand in Hand Trust Corporation, property management is our business. Whether you travel for long periods, live overseas, or have several properties that require managing, let us at Hand in Hand Trust Corporation take care of this for you. Your property is safe with us. Hand in Hand Trust Corporation Incorporated, a member of the Hand in Hand Group of Companies.
Did you know that Gassi's Jet A1 fuel is a type of aviation fuel specially formulated for turbine engines? Jet A1 fuel is safer to handle and transport than any other fuel types due to its high flash point and low volatility. It also boasts a high energy content, enhancing aircraft performance and efficiency. So whether traveling for business or pleasure, choose Guyana's Jet A1 fuel for a safe, reliable, and efficient flight.
What flavors does Oreo have around the world?
Oreo peanut butter.
Let me see. Oreo cajeta.
Here comes Oreo around the world, the promo that takes you on a family trip to taste the Oreo flavors available in Paris, New York, Mexico, or Rome. Register your packages at oreopromo.com.